Schrupp, physical therapist, and today I am going to talk about how would I treat Tiger Woods' knee. Now, of course, I'm not privy to exactly what went on with Tiger Woods' knee, but I can give him three general principles to follow. First off, what do I know about Tiger Woods' knee? First off, I think he's had 4 surgeries, and one of them was to repair an ACL, which is an anterior cruciate ligament, and that's a ligament that a ligament connects bone to bone. So just here we got the 2 bones of the knee. Ligament would just very simply attach the 2. So and there's only four main ligaments that hold the knee together. So if you lose one, it really affects your stability. The other thing he had done is he had 2 benign cysts or tumors removed earlier on, plus some scar tissue removed. He had some stress fractures, which would be fractures in the bone, just slight fractures or small fractures. And then he had some fluid removed. Now, what concerns me is that that the fact that his knee is flared up to the point that he can't play on it. So we're going to talk about the 3 things that you should do in order to calm that inflammation down and get him back into play. Okay, the 3 areas that I'm going to have Tiger work on to help improve his knee are: 1, we got to decrease his inflammation; 2, we got to have movement in the knee without stress on the knee; and 3, we got to strengthen the knee. Now, this knee has really become his kryptonite, as you might call it, or his glass jaw. I mean, without this knee, he has a very little chance of going after those majors again. So, the first thing, calm down inflammation. And the first thing, Tiger, listen to me here. If you're starting to feel some pain in that knee, you've got to back off. You can't just, no pain, no gain is not the mantra here. You've really got to be cued in to when your knee starts to bother you, because it's not going to get better. It's going to just get worse. So, I want you to develop some self-awareness. And, sure, you can ice and use anti-inflammatories and all that, but you have to be aware that when things start to bother, then you got to back off a bit. And these are the things you got to back off of. Number 1, when things are starting to hurt, or even before they start to hurt, I want you to lessen the amount of times you use your driver and your long irons. And I'm going to show you why. Can you pan up here? You okay? All right. When he's using his short irons or putting or working off the green, there's not that much stress or torque on the knee. But when he's taking the full swings with the big dog, he's swinging back and he's coming through, look at how much stress he's putting on that knee. It's torquing. Your weight shifts. If you're not a golfer, you don't realize this, but your weight shifts from your right to your left as you do the swing. And the forces that he creates with his driver are probably pretty amazing. So he's putting a lot of stress on that knee. So he wants to limit how often he's using the big driver and the long irons. And that's not a bad philosophy anyway, because people will always tell you your scoring comes from the short game. So it's not going to hurt him to spend more time on that. He's going to want to stop walking hills, which means he's going to have to use a cart while he's practicing. He's going to want to stop walking stairs. All those things increase the stress on the knee. He's not going to want to do anything like running. That's going to increase the stress on the knee. I would also say that he should not be doing any exercises like doing squats. That would certainly increase the stress on the knee. While it would help strengthen it, the negative side is so high that the benefits would not justify doing that. So we'll now go to the second area, which is movement without stress. Okay, the second area Tiger's going to want to focus on is movement without stress. And what that means is that you're actually going to want to get some movement in the knee without putting stress on it. I've told this story before, but I'm going to tell it real quickly again. When I was at the Mayo Clinic and worked there, they did a study on rabbits, and these rabbits had arthritis. Half the rabbits, they put them in a little machine that moved their knee back and forth, and the other half of the rabbits, they were just put in an immobilizer, so the knee couldn't move at all. Well, who do you think, which knees got worse and which knees got better? Well, the knees that were in the little machine and were actually moving got better, and the knees that were immobilized got worse. So rest is not always the option here. You want to get some movement in there. There's a thing called synovial fluid in your knee that helps kind of almost act as a oil, for the knee, and actually helps take away the friction. So that helps, movement helps promote that. And also, of course, you get more blood flow in the knee. So, very simply, you're kind of limited on what things you can do here because I don't want to do anything that's going to flare the knee up. You can bike without resistance, so it's probably going to be a stationary bike. You can also probably do some water activities where the stress isn't so bad on the knee and you're getting some knee movement. Now Brad will be talking about the third section of which Tiger we're going to want him to concentrate on, and that is strengthening of the knee. And he'll show some ways you can strengthen the knee without putting stress on it.
Hi, my name is Brad Heineck. I'm a physical therapist, and we're talking about strengthening the knee for Tiger Woods with his injury. And Bob talked to you about arthritis and motion, and now we want to talk about strengthening. Once he gets to the point where he can start to move it, less pain, more pain-free motion is occurring, then it's time to actually strengthen the muscles around the knee. And the knee is kind of nice as far as strengthening because there's not a lot of muscles. You got a bony knee here, and the big muscles are the quadriceps here, hamstrings on the back, and of course the calf muscles below the knee. Okay, so it's not a real complicated joint in regards to muscles and strengthening. The muscles that are working the knee, of course we need to focus on the hip and the trunk as well because we have the whole structure working with the golf swing. But he has weakened quite a bit the muscles around the knee because the muscles will atrophy, become smaller, weaker without movement. So that's been happening as we've been speaking here with Tiger. So I'm sure he's aware of that. I think he probably has a trainer, probably can afford one. Anyways, Tiger, if you're ever out traveling, you're in a hotel room and you don't have time to get down to the gym in hotels, sometimes motels, whatever you live in, staying in, they don't have the real good equipment. Doesn't matter. I'm going to show you something right here you can take in the room with you and give yourself an incredible workout from your leg all the way up to your shoulders with the swing and everything. Okay. All right. Now, I was going to use a cane, but I'm feeling pretty good now, so I think we'll get rid of that. We're going to start from the bottom and work up. Okay. So, we got the stability ball. Excellent tool for physical training. I learned to work on the stability ball. The best class I had was from an Olympic trainer. Okay. He works with people that are literally in the Olympics using this for strengthening. Okay. Starting out, balance. Okay, once you can weight bear on it well, we need to work on the ankle and the muscles back here in the calf. So you can do just simple things as one-legged toe-ups. Okay? And then from there, we can go heel-ups, which is a little more balanced. And this may look easy, but you can try it. It's not. And from that point, we can start to do some hopping forward and backwards to test that knee, right to left. Okay? And I'm going to get warm here, so I'm going to stop. You can do that and time yourself. A minute forward, a minute backwards, and that will definitely work the ankle, leg, as all the way up into the hip. Okay? Now we're going to go to the hamstring muscles. My favorite strengthening exercise with the stability ball is on your back. First of all, simple warm-up. Back and forth, range of motion. Bob was just talking about get some range of motion in the joint to help the circulation. The synovial fluid move around for lubrication. Okay, then from here, hamstrings workout. You bring up the hips. Not only are you working the hamstrings, but my stomach muscles, my core muscles are all contracting right now to maintain stability. Okay, and we go up like this. And you can hear in my voice, I'm literally stressing myself, and 90% of the work is in the hamstrings. As it gets easier, I should say harder work, Tiger. Excuse me.
You're doing fine.
Okay, here we go. 2 legs first. It'll become easier. 3 sets of 15. When 3 sets of 15 is easier, then you cross over the strong leg on the weak leg, and that stresses the hamstrings more to work more strengthening on the involved leg. After that becomes easy, you take the leg that is in good shape, lift it up in the air, and then you work all the way, and this is very difficult to do. You won't be able to do this until you're pretty advanced and already playing on the big games. Okay, so that's hamstring workout. Quadriceps. Alright, this pan over here. Get the ball up against the wall, feet shoulder width wide, out about a foot. Okay, good posture up on top, and you simply do your squats. Now, if that knee is not ready for full weight bearing, but it's ready for strengthening, I'm going to put 75% of my weight on my strong leg, 25% on the weak leg, and do my squat. Now, mechanics on this, important thing, make sure your toes are out far enough. Bob, can you give me a hand?
Sure.
Okay, one thing you don't want to do is go down farther than, want to grab the cane please, farther than your femur being more than horizontal. So you don't want to squat way down here. It puts a lot of undue stress on the knee. Okay, as a matter of fact, when you're starting Tiger, we're just going to go down to about this range, okay?
And nothing, you don't want anything to inflame that knee. If it starts hurting or starts bothering you, you're not ready for this exercise.
Right. Now, I'm going to use this just to show, if you put your feet directly underneath you, and you put a plumb line above your toes like this, and once your knees go to that plumb line, that's too far. If you start going out past it, that really stresses the knee, particularly the patella, the kneecap. Okay, so you got to get those feet out in front of you so that there's an imaginary plumb line. Your knee does not go past that. So you don't go past this line, you don't go past going below the horizontal with the thigh and the femur. Okay? So with that, the way it progresses, 25% weight on the leg that needs a strengthening, then you go 50-50. When that feels good, you can do 3 sets of 10. Then you cross over, good leg over the weak leg, and that really starts to work the weak leg. As a matter of fact, you'll probably want to do this on both legs at that point. When you're very strong, then you start putting one leg out, and you do this. This one's pretty aggressive. I cannot go down to horizontal. My quads aren't strong enough. I did have one athlete, she was a gymnast. She would hold 20 pounds here in her stomach, put one leg out like this, and she'd do a full squat up and down 3 sets of 10. She was incredible. It really works the legs and the hips. And finally, obviously we need to think about the trunk and that swing, okay, that core strengthening. This ball is outstanding for doing that with golf. And of course, keep your arms in shape. Simply take the ball out to here. We can do push-ups. Very easy here. I'm going to keep this in the view of the camera. And as you get stronger, you go out to your ankles. You can actually go out to your toes if you really want to work. Now my core and stomach is really working hard right now, as well as my arms. You know, if you really want to get fancy, go on one leg and work it as such. Now, with the rotational component of the golf swing, this is what you're going to work on, Tiger. You get your ball and you start working that rotation like this, okay? It's a great stretch and it works. Now, when this gets easy with your arms like this, and you can do it for 60 seconds, you increase the intensity by bringing your hands closer together and it becomes much more difficult, okay? If you're really good, you can do this on one hand and then you can make a commercial about the ball. Okay, just a joke. One more thing about this thing, you want to make sure you balance it out so you go in the opposite direction and you work it this way. Back and forth, back and forth. Okay. If you want more on the ball, we got a video with more exercises on the ball. A few key strengthening exercises for the golfer, especially you, Tiger. Have a great season.